Hi, I'm Josie Quick and welcome to Fiddle Quick Fiddle Lessons. Today I'm going to show you some tips on how to play backup, and we'll be using the tune Wildwood Flower in the key of D. If you enjoy this video, please join my Fiddle Club on Patreon. Your Fiddle Club membership enables me to keep making fiddle tune videos. Fiddle Club members get PDFs and other exclusive content, so please consider supporting me on Patreon. The first thing that you want to do is learn the harmonic rhythm of a tune. You do this by playing the root of the chord on each measure going through the chord progression. In roots music, the emphasis is on beats 2 and 4. So roots music, blues, jazz, bluegrass, country, pretty much anything that's not classical or Irish. Learning how to put the emphasis on 2 and 4 can be tricky, especially if you've got a background in classical music or, playing in high school orchestra or band class. So let's combine these two really important skills of playing on the backbeat, playing on the 2 and 4, with learning the feel of the chord progression. This tune is crooked, which means that the first 2 phrases have 5 measures in them. There are versions of this song with 4. We're doing the crooked version because it's trickier. If you are playing with somebody who is doing it with 4 measures to a phrase, you'll hear that and be able to adapt easily. If you're used to 4 and somebody's playing it with 5, it will mess you up. I think that 5 is also more commonly played. It was recorded quite a bit with the 5-bar version. So I'm putting the chord progression up here. So follow along by playing the note that you see on the chart. If it says D, play a D. G, play your open G. And for A, play your low A. And that's going to be the foundation for the chords we will build later.
2, 3, 4.
So after you've got that down, add other chord tones. So a chord is made up of the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So I say you can count them on your fingers. So if you've got D, that's 1, E, F, and in the key of D we have an F sharp. So it's going to be F sharp, that's your 3rd, G, A. So D, F sharp, and A are your D chord notes. A good tip is to always play your chords down in the lower 2 notes. We just generally do 2-note chords when playing the fiddle because playing 3 gets in the way. If you're playing these 2 strings, it's right where the vocalist is singing, it's right where people are taking their breaks, and you have to be very tasteful if you're going to use those chord voicings. To play it safe, play them down on the bottom 2 strings, and we always just choose 2 chord tones. Since the bass player and the guitar player are playing the root, you don't necessarily have to play the root, but it's good to know what it is so then you can figure out what else to play. So your D chord, D, F sharp, and A. So you have several possibilities. You have A and D, A and F sharp, D and F sharp. For your A chord, you have A and E, C sharp and E, C sharp and A. And for your G chord, you have open G and D, and B and D, and G and B. So let's add 2-note chords to playing on the backbeat. I would recommend that you just stick with 1 voicing until you get it down. And then once you're feeling confident, then you can start mixing up the different voicings. You might hear me doing that just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
2, 3, 4.
Good job. Work on that, and then we'll go to the next step, which would be playing a shuffle pattern. You can play a shuffle pattern as well, which would be the 1 and a 2. So when doing that, make sure you get that accent in on the 2 and the 4. When you're playing backup, you are a rhythm instrument. You are supposed to be providing the rhythmic impetus for what's going on. So making sure that you've got that 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... So what I'm doing to get that accent is I am doing a little bit of a lean into the string with a kind of a twisting of my arm, like I'm turning a doorknob. I'm not pushing down with this finger. I used to do that and gave myself carpal tunnel. So that's not a good idea. If you're going to be playing a lot, you don't want to injure yourself. So do a little twist. You can practice that by setting your bow on the string and then feeling, you really won't see it because it's so slight, and it actually does look like I'm pressing with that finger. But I'm doing that little turn, and you can see my bow is dipping into the string. So you dip the string and go. Practice that by getting that dip, then dip, 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 dip. And then you can get that going. Right? So let's try the shuffle pattern, but using single notes, but you can change the chord tone that you're using. So you can shift from the D to the F sharp to the A, etc. Here we go.
2, 3, 4.
So once you have these different voicings down and the shuffle pattern and the chops, you can make some variations between the chords that you play. Like, for example, maybe my transition from the D chord to the A chord, something like... something like that. So I did some passing tones to get down to the D chord again, where I wanted to play the A and the D. Maybe going from the D chord to the G chord. One of the things I like to do is play the bottom note and then do the double stop. So that double stop on the end gives you that emphasis that you're looking for on the 2 and the 4. So with the combination of offbeat chops, shuffle pattern, double stops, passing tones linking the chords together, you can create an interesting backup that's not intrusive, but it's still fun to play. And and will keep you like engaged when it's not your turn to take a break. Let's try playing this through a couple of times, and I'll show you some more ideas.
2, 3, 4.
As you can see, I mixed up the rhythm. Sometimes I played longer tones. You can do that a little bit. If you play a lot of long tones, you run the risk of getting in the way of the voice. You just have to listen and see how you fit in. I'm going to play Wildwood Flower melody for you 3 times so you can have a chance to experiment with playing in the background. So here we go.
2, 3, 4.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun making it for you. Hope you learned a lot and had fun. Until next time, be safe, be well, and thanks for watching.